everybody. I'm Tracy, founder of Jivana. Today we're going to talk about pranayama. So you've probably heard about pranayama in your yoga classes, or maybe even in Ayurveda, or if you've picked up a yoga magazine, we're always talking about pranayama or prana. So what is pranayama and why do we do it? Well, let's break down the word pranayama first and get to know it a little bit better. Well, first of all, prana itself is a subdosha of vata. So not that that's super important to all of you, but if you like to geek out on Ayurveda a little bit, then that's just a little piece of trivia. Also, prana, we always talk about everything in terms of energy when it comes to Ayurveda. When we talk about the doshas and the gunas and the elements, it always comes back to minutia, or the subtle forces of energy. Prana is also energy. Prana governs this area of our body, the chest area, and it's responsible for inhaling and exhaling and moving things in this area of our body, our chest. So breath comes in, it moves around, and it governs this part, and it also governs our exhale. So let's break down the word prana. So if we say breath or air, that means prana. Prana can also mean life force, and this makes sense because if we're talking about breathing in, breathing out, that's breath, that's air, and life force. We can't live without our breath or oxygen. So we can break the word prana down even a little bit further to pra, and pra means constant, and na means movement. So constant movement of our breath, or constant movement of life force. Yama means to control or to restrain. So pranayama means to control or restrain the constant movement of our breath or our life force. We do pranayama, why? Why do we need to control our constantly moving breath or life force? Why is that important? Well, think about the last time you were really upset, mad, or sad, or angry, grief-stricken, anything like that. We get really worked up and our adrenaline gets moving and going. And what's the first thing somebody tells you to do? Take a few deep breaths. Just take a few deep breaths, calm down. That works, actually. There's a method to the madness there. Pranayama is the same. So when our adrenaline gets going, our heart rate gets faster, our breathing gets faster, our blood pressure goes up. When we take deep breaths, like we do in some kinds of pranayama, not all, but in some kinds of pranayama, that helps to reset our nervous system. So when adrenaline gets going, it stimulates our sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight response. When we take deep breaths, it calms down our nervous system. That's the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the opposite. That's what balances out our central nervous system. So we have the fight or flight, we have the rest and digest, so sympathetic and parasympathetic. So that's what creates balance in our body. And taking deep breaths helps to slow down the heart rate, slows down the breathing, lowers the blood pressure, and that's why we take deep breaths, to balance things out, to feel better. And once we do that, naturally our moods change, our anger goes down, our feelings of intensity and anxiety, nervousness, those all tend to go down once we can lower our blood pressure and our heart rate. So that's one reason we do pranayama. There are other reasons that we do pranayama as well. So one is to stimulate or to activate the parasympathetic nervous system. Another reason why we do pranayama is to create heat in the body. This is helpful, like say in the morning when you're waking up and you want to get energized for the day, you might do a stimulating pranayama practice. Also in the mid-afternoon, maybe when you're feeling a little groggy and you feel like you want to take a nap or you want to reach for some caffeine, instead you can do a more stimulating pranayama practice, and that can get your heart rate going just a little bit to get you energized, get the prana flowing, the oxygen flowing, and that increases your energy. And you don't have to always get a cup of coffee or a soda or something like that. You can just use your body's own natural energy and get yourself more invigorated again for the day. Other reasons we do pranayama are not to increase heat and energy, but to get rid of excess heat. So especially in the summer during pitta season when we're hot and it's hot outside, we need to get rid of excess heat. So there are cooling practices that we can do that rid the body of excess heat. Same with maybe at the end of a hot yoga practice, it's really helpful to do a couple pranayama practices, and they help get rid of excess heat in the body. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you're signed up for the newsletter because we're going to have lots of fun announcements coming up. Definitely, if you haven't done so yet, fill out the skincare questionnaire, the dosha questionnaire on the website. It's lovejivana.com to stay up to date on everything new and upcoming and good promotions coming up and all of that good stuff. So thanks again. See you next time.